is quieting down. Seems like we've got to a lot of the smoke. Dub, you got smoke?
On the Patreon episode titled We're Civilized Now, Melyssa Ford shared with Queen's Flip that she had taken a trip to the Atlanta, during a podcast week. Queen's Flip praised her for the effort, acknowledging that she was grinding, so if you don't know what grinding means, she was working hard, right? Now, he was genuinely showing her some love, appreciating her hustle. But later, Joe Budden also acknowledged her grind, but in true Joe fashion, he did it with his own twist. Joe has a way of making someone feel like they're on top of the world, only to later say something that brings them right back down to earth. It's almost like a verbal roller coaster with him. One moment you're up, and the next minute he has you questioning everything. Look at the files.
It was in between.
That's good. You grinding, man. Go ahead, girl. Mm-hmm. How was the Atlanta trip? Good?
Productive.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you grinding girl. And it's like the first time she's ever grinded, not like that, but that grind is kicking her ass. Oh my God, I have to pay for things.
She told me that.
Hey, talking about she signed to the network. I seen that bill a mile away. Are you shitting me? Girls don't do nothing cheap.
True.
Girls don't do nothing cheap. I can't think of it. But she don't like that paying for shit.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
But we support you, man.
We do.
When Melyssa Ford first announced she was launching a podcast, many fans assumed it would be under the Joe Budden Network or have some kind of association with it, right? People started speculating, creating theories, and even making videos trying to figure out who was backing her project financially. Joe eventually took to Spaces to clarify that Melyssa's podcast is entirely her own. He emphasized that neither he nor Ian, his business partner, is involved in her production. In a recent clip, Joe hinted that he anticipated the expenses involved in her show and made the choice not to invest. He saw the bill a mile away and decided to step aside. Joe knew that whatever Melyssa had planned would require substantial resources, and he's already committed to investing in other projects like Queen's Flip's Improper Improv Season 2. Managing both could be a heavy financial lift, even for Joe Budden. Melyssa herself has been transparent about the cost of producing a high-quality podcast. She's even mentioned her podcast team, studio rentals, set decor, wardrobe, marketing team, and much more. Getting a podcast to look and sound polished is not cheap. It's clear she's funding this project entirely on her own, and she's already got 6 episodes in the pipeline. Even though Joe isn't covering her expenses, the Joe Budden podcast has indirectly supported her launch. In the last 2 months, they created a jingle for her original podcast named The Minipod, which eventually changed to Hot and Bothered. Joe took the opportunity to poke fun at the name change on his podcast. However, his jokes only added more attention to her show, which essentially works as free promotion. After all, when one of the top podcasts in the country brings up something, people pay attention. Even if Joe isn't funding it directly, using valuable podcast time to promote Mel's show is priceless. As we all know, time is money. Now, maybe Joe is waiting to see how Melyssa's podcast performs over the next few months. He might want to examine the analytics and determine the show is profitable. If it does well, he may consider bringing it under his network. And honestly, I think that's something Melyssa is open to as well. She's always been someone who values proving her worth. When she joined joined the Joe Budden podcast, she didn't receive a salary for the first few months. She wanted to show what she could bring to the table and learn the ropes. It seems she's applying a similar strategy with her own podcast, working hard, taking her time, and building the value. If she proves herself, maybe Joe will see the potential in adding her to the network. Let's think about this. Melyssa is well known on Instagram, but podcasting and YouTube are two different arenas, right? She knows that she's willing to work her way up. And, just like Queen's Flip brought his large following into the Joe Budden fold, I think Melyssa wants to do the same. Melyssa is pushing forward her show, putting in the grind even when it's challenging. And if she continues this path, there's no doubt that she'll succeed. So now, let's hear from, everybody else. I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do y'all think? Should Joe Budden reconsider bringing Melyssa's podcast onto his network if it gets some traction? Or do you think she's better off maintaining her independence, how she's doing right now? Do y'all think Joe genuinely wants to see Melyssa succeed independently? Or is he keeping his distance to avoid a financial risk? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You feel what I'm saying? And for the people that's following the Joe Budden podcast, what do you think about, Joe's approach to supporting Melyssa's venture without directly funding it? Is this a strategic move or is he playing it safe? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll be back with the files.
My guy Dub, too. That's my man, though.
Gang.
That's my man, Big Dub.